Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. We're going to go over an important topic today, talking about rotation in the downswing and why many people struggle with rotating in the downswing and how we can improve that. So a lot of the times, for most amateur golfers I see who don't swing it very well, who don't rotate very well, typically they stand up in the downswing. People always talk about or hear about early extension. They're standing out of it, they're not staying in it, they're lifting up. All those little sayings that kind of try to explain why they don't hit the ball well, when in reality it all comes back to not rotating well. So everything that I've just talked about, whether it's standing up, humping the goat, early extending, you can see any of that kind of movement cuts out my rotation, okay? This is not rotating, as we can see. If I rotate in the downswing, if my chest and pelvis is facing you guys, the camera, and I rotate, my chest and pelvis eventually disappears, and all you can see is the back of my pelvis, let's just say my butt cheeks, and the back of my chest, which is the back of my back, okay? If I rotate well, that happens from this down the line view. If I do what most amateur golfers do who struggle with rotating, is they start the downswing through either stepping into the lead foot, and you can see the more I put the lead foot into the ground, the less I rotate, and then I start standing up out of it. You see this? Or I pull my hands down, the arms disconnect from my body, the hands and club come rushing into the ball, and I also have no time to rotate. But because my hands have pulled down so much, I'm going to chunk the hell of it, so then I stand up and try to make sure that there's some room down at the ball, okay? Those are two very common things I see players who don't rotate well exhibit in their downswings, okay? So one, again, we do not want to step into the lead foot or go into the toes in the downswing. Two, we don't want to pull the hands down in the downswing because that all leads to not rotating, that all leads to standing up early, extending, not staying down, okay? So watch that if you are struggling with this so that you know what to try not to do and then what we can try to incorporate instead to start your downswing. So now that we have those two culprits out of the way, okay? Those aren't the only two causes that cause you not to rotate, but those two are very common issues I see with most amateur golfers, assuming you have a decent backswing, okay? So assuming you have a decent backswing and assuming you are aware of not stepping to the lead foot, the lead toes, or pulling the hands down. How do we rotate? Well, if you see all those movements that lead to you standing up and early extending, which is butt and pelvis comes closer to the ball, chest starts rising and weight up from the ball, we should probably do the opposite. If I start my downswing and I push my butt back, force my chest down, I will probably keep rotating out of the way because that's the opposite of us standing up and early extending, okay? Most players who I work with who struggle with rotating, who improve their backswings, who then when we work on a downswing, if I ask them to push their butt back and feel like their chest and lead shoulder stays down, they typically will rotate so much more than they used to do. So if I really exaggerate this, and I encourage you to exaggerate the hell of it when you first do this, okay? Don't worry about the contact, just exaggerate the hell of it. You can see when I push my butt back, my trail leg has to regain flex as I need to rotate, because again, because one other thing, if my trail leg stays straight, like I would if I step into my lead foot, I'm also not going to rotate, and then the trail heel comes up, fake rotation for what we're doing here. If you rotate well without going doing compensations, your trail heel should still be pretty close to the ground at impact, as you can see, okay? Most good ball strikers, or what a lot of people strive to do at impact, you can see trail arm still bent as noted in the previous video, my trail heel still on the ground, you see my butt cheek, you see the back of my lead leg, you see the back of my back, all that's good stuff as we rotate through the ball, and you can see my trail leg has to flex, okay? So that's when that has to happen as you push your butt back and chest down. So if I do this, if I truly try to make my backswing, and then I really try to push my butt back, chest down, you can see I'm gaining inclination to the ground, okay? At setup, we have an incline, we're still inclined, and I want to feel like a gain incline as I make my downswing. I do not want to lose incline because that's, again, a standing up, that's early extending, that cuts out the rotation. We're doing everything we can to do the opposite. So butt back, chest down the most I can. without pulling the hands down. We'll see what happens really slowly and very exaggerated. I exaggerate the hell of that. I chunked it. It doesn't matter, but I probably rotate quite a bit on that video, okay? Versus if I were to do the usual way of pulling down in the downswing or step into the lead foot, if I do that stuff, I probably start moving towards the ball like many people do, and I don't rotate. So going back to what I want you guys to do, okay? Butt back, chest down in the downswing, make the decent backswing, butt back, chest down as the trail leg regains flex. That should help us turn, and that should help us increase the rotation, work on getting rotation in the downswing, and then we can eventually work on other things from there. So hope that makes sense. If you're someone who struggles with rotating in the downswing but want to rotate more in the downswing, this is a good place to start to understand why you can't rotate and what you can do to try to add rotation in the downswing, okay? So hope that makes sense. Any questions, leave in the comments below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching, everybody.